Hello, people. This is Brian from acousticmusic.org. I want to talk about 0018 Martins. Hands down, no disputing it, my favorite Martin model guitar. There's a blog on it. Chase it back on the acousticmusic.org website. I think it may even be the first blog we ever did. Um, I was a kid. Uh, I guess we all were, young at one point, and I wanted an acoustic guitar. Wanted to play protest songs. Had a lot of stuff to protest. Back when I was, a freshman in high school, ripe for the revolution, as it were. And so I went. I got my first acoustic guitar was the cheapest guitar I could find because I didn't have a lot of money, and I got an Ovation. I think it was like an Ovation. It might have been like a Glen Campbell model, and it was in this music store in New London. It was hanging in the back, and this store was kind of cool because the back end of the store was on a river. And I imagine they kept the door open because I took the guitar down. It had been there forever, and the frets were all kind of hanging off the sides of it from where it had shrunk down. But the strings were like all like corroded, like they been to the beach. Uh, that was my first acoustic, and real pretty much after that, I found out that I wanted a Martin. You had to have a Martin. Everybody needed a Martin, right? Um, so I started saving my money. I don't remember what odd jobs I did, but I did some pretty odd jobs. I'm pretty sure of that. And I saved up enough money to go get a Martin guitar. And I had no idea what models were. I just knew I wanted a Martin guitar. So I went down to this music store in New Haven on Chapel Street, and I had enough money to buy a 0018. That was, I put my pile of money down on the table and said, I want a Martin guitar. This is how much money I have, and I'd heard that you should try to play a few of them because some were better than others, and but I was pretty young. I think by that time I was maybe only like a sophomore in high school, and uh, the guy said, no, with the money you got, there's one Martin guitar I'll sell you, and I didn't even have enough money for a case. He put it in a plastic bag, and I took it home with me in a plastic bag, and I loved it. I was kind of like, wow, I've got a Martin guitar. And I used to bring it to school every day with me and play it in study hall or skip out of classes. They were building a wing onto our high school, and there were classrooms that were being built or weren't being used. And me and some other folks used to like skip out class and go play our guitars in those rooms. Um, but one day, this teacher that I had said, "Oh, I've got a 0018, just like yours," and he brought it in, and I realized it wasn't just like mine. His was like so much nicer than mine, and I had no idea how old it was. He didn't either. He bought it used, and now I figure it was probably like around 1965. His was a 65. Mine would have been like a 71. So his had those really nice kind of beveled stay tight tuners and the nice red pickguard and red bindings. I tried to get him to trade guitars with me. He wouldn't do it. But the closest guitar that I have with me in the shop today is this. This is a 0018 from 1949. It's cool, you have those things like, why is a 1949 0018 so much more cooler than a 1950? Well, if you were born in 1950, probably a 1951 would be cooler than a 49. But in general terms, just it's the 40s, it's the 40s, not the 50s. But you can see the nice through saddle and the tortoise guard and the tortoise bindings and the cool tuners here. Clousons. Are they? So anyway, I'm just kind of looking at the guitar. I haven't looked at it in a while. It's nice, really dry, woody sound and guitar. So I kept my love and fascination for 0018s, and over the years, and I've owned a bunch of them. Right now, I only own one, and it's a 1952. I was born in 52. And we kind of figured out serial numbers. There was a range, like we took, 1952 took the amount of guitars they built, divided it by 12 months, and I was kind of looking for this range because it's probably not really true that it worked out this way. But anyway, I've got it figured out that by the serial numbers, if you kind of divide them up evenly among each month, that maybe this one was made in the beginning of April, which my birthday is on April 7th, if anybody wants to send me a bottle of wine or something. Anyway, so that's a long-winded story about why I really like 0018 Martins. Here's one from 1949.